Dear Dad, you always told me that an honest man has nothing to fear, so I'm trying my best not to be afraid. I'm sorry I ran away, but you don't have to worry. I'm gonna get it all back now, Daddy. I promise. I'm gonna get it all back.
Catch Me If You Can, directed by Steven Spielberg, is the mostly true story of Frank Abagnale Jr., played by Leonardo DiCaprio, a 1960s con man who posed as an airline pilot, doctor, and lawyer before being captured by obsessed FBI agent Carl Hanratty, played by Tom Hanks.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Go fuck yourselves.
The film was released in 2002, but has recently found a renewed interest on streaming platforms. Being based on a true story and directed by Spielberg, you know this movie is crammed full of interesting details, and the production full of cool facts and stories. Here are 5 of my favorites, and beware, if you haven't seen the movie, there will be spoilers, but, it came out in 2002. If this movie was a kid, it'd be graduating high school, so.
I would never give up my son. I would never give up my son.
Yes, sir. I understand.
One of the cornerstone dynamics at play in the film is Frank's relationship with his father, played by Christopher Walken. A con man himself, Frank learns a lot from his father about how to be sketchy. But apparently this was entirely a creation for the movie. In his biography, the real Frank says he would often lie about his childhood. He would tell the story that his dad was a hustler, when in fact the real Frank Sr. was not only a straight shooter, but also one of Frank Jr.'s first victims. Frank started his criminal life with small scams involving his dad's credit card. He once racked up thousands on a spending spree before his dad got the bill.
Don't worry, Frank. I'll have you extradited back to the United States. Don't worry.
Speaking of the real Frank, he makes a cameo in the movie. Despite not wanting to be in the film, the real Frank was convinced after Spielberg, DiCaprio, and producers begged him to make an appearance. That appearance is when Leo's Frank is finally arrested in France towards the end. The officer that's seen briefly putting him in the police car is ironically the real Abagnale.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Frank William Abagnale.
Number 2.
My name is Frank William Abagnale.
Number 3.
My name is Frank William Abagnale.
The film opens to Frank being the subject of the game show To Tell the Truth. This scene was based on an actual episode of the real game show from 1977, in which Frank was really a guest. The scene is a near exact reenactment of the episode as it aired in the 70s. In that episode, not a single panelist correctly guessed that he was the real Frank Abagnale Jr. If you want to watch it, the full episode is available here on YouTube just by searching the title.
Please get in touch with Joanna Carlton from the 10th grade. Tell her I'm sorry that I could not take her to the junior prom. Love, your son, Frank.
When Frank is using a hotel room to forge checks, he's shown using a hotel Bible to press them. The Bible can be seen open to 1 Samuel chapter 28, where it describes Israel's King Saul disguising himself to not be recognized. He puts on different clothes to go undetected. This is of course a nod to Frank doing the same, putting on different clothes to appear to be someone else.
All right, I'm not a doctor. I never went to medical school. I'm not a lawyer or a Harvard graduate or a Lutheran. I ran away from home a year and a half ago when I was 16.
Frank? Frank? You're not a Lutheran?
While impersonating a doctor, movie Frank falls in love with a young nurse named Brenda, played by Amy Adams. The real Frank stated that she is based off a Eastern Airlines flight attendant he dated in Louisiana, but was never engaged to. In the movie though, Frank comes clean to his fiancée and shows her his suitcase full of money. As Carl is about to find him, a wayward bill slips under the door and floats down to him. To me, this is a clear homage to the floating feather in Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks' famous role. Do you think this is intentional, or just a similar looking coincidence? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell so you see all the latest videos. Follow me on social media for more bite-sized movie coverage. Thanks for watching.